Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is episode number 6 of my 5-year ICOI ETF experiment, where I'm investing in the Bitwise Coin Option Income Strategy ETF and tracking the results every month. The goal of this series is simple: to see how much income this ETF can generate over a full 5-year period, and to document the journey so beginners and experts alike can learn how income ETFs actually work. Every month I do 4 things. I buy more shares, I track the dividend income, I explain something about investing, and share how the experiment is progressing. Today's topic is a big one for beginners, how dividends actually work inside ETFs. Because a lot of people think ETFs magically create dividends, but that's not quite how it works. All right, let's start with the purchase of the previous month. So we can see in February, we were able to buy 2 shares. This brings my total holdings to around 69 shares so far. So my strategy for this experiment is very simple. I'm consistently adding shares each month and letting the dividends accumulate over time and reinvest those dividends to get more shares. So no market timing and no trying to predict the Coinbase stock. Just steady accumulation and income tracking. All right, let's talk about how dividends work in ETFs, because this is something a lot of beginners misunderstand. First, an ETF does not create money out of thin air. Instead, the ETF collects income from the investments it holds. For example, a traditional ETF like the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, which is VOO, owns shares of hundreds of companies. So these companies like McDonald's Corporation, Apple, or Microsoft pay dividends. The ETF collects those dividends and then passes them through to investors. So when you receive an ETF dividend, you are basically getting your share of the income generated by the underlying assets. But income ETFs like ICOI work a little differently. Instead of collecting dividends from companies, they generate income through option strategies. In the case of ICOI, the ETF uses options related to Coinbase exposure to generate income. That income is then distributed to individual investors as monthly dividends. So the income might come from option premiums, yield strategies, and underlying holdings. And then the ETF distributes that cash to shareholders. Now, why ETF dividends can change? One important thing to understand is that ETF dividends are not guaranteed. Unlike a company dividend, which might stay stable for years, ETF distributions can change every month. And this depends on a number of factors, like market conditions, strategy performance, income generated during the period. And that's why ETFs like ICOI can sometimes have very high yields, but those yields can also fluctuate a lot. So when you see a big dividend yield on an ETF, it's important to remember it's based on recent income, not a guaranteed payment forever. All right, let's calculate our dividend for the month of March. So as usual, we'll type in March, ICOI. Now we'll get the current price as it is today, $10.51. So let's go. That's a sharp drop. Dividend per share. Now we got the email admittedly yesterday. I just haven't had time to come on and do it. Sorry about that, guys. Let's click this one. Okay, ICOI for this month is 51.6 cents. So 51618. Let's pop that in. 0.5161. So it's a little bit less than last month. So last month we had 61 cents. But it's still a little bit higher than January. So I guess we can take what we can from that. So let's pull this one down. So we have 69 shares currently. Total value, $7.25. So we are seeing a slight drop in the the value there. So the ex-dividend date was, I believe, yesterday. Let's just double check. Ex-dividend is 27th of the 3rd. So let's put that in there. Okay. Total dividend received. So let's have a look. $35.61 there. So after tax, we'll be getting $30.27. So again, a little bit less than last month, but hey, I guess it's a little bit more consistent. Let's see how many new shares we can buy with that. And 2. So it'll be another 2 shares for this month. Okay, thanks guys for tuning in as always, and make sure if you want to keep following on, hit that subscribe button below, and yeah, we'll tune in next month. Cheers.